let's talk about the PWA event in Sylt. It was the first one for the slalom guys, the third one for the wave guys, and the first one for the freestyle guys. And for the women we only had wave. So let's talk about wave first. Quita Offringa won the single elimination, and she also won the world title again this year. So would you expect anything else but her winning again? She's dominating the sport at the moment, and for the past years she's been dominating for a long time in slalom and freestyle especially. And now it seems like she's also really dominating in wave after really putting her mind to it for a couple of years. And yeah, it's cool to see her doing all the disciplines, because in the guys' fleet, the guys are so specialized. They either do only racing or freestyle or wave. And in the girls' fleet, to do her doing like all the disciplines and dominating in all of them really reminds me of like the era of like Beck and Robbie Nash, where they had like the overall and had to do everything. And I think that's a pretty cool approach to windsurfing, to be as good as you can in all the different disciplines and not just in one. And they were also pretty lucky with the conditions over the week, because now we already have a finished single elimination in the women's wave, in the guys' wave, in the freestyle, and I think 7 eliminations in the slalom. So basically all the disciplines, they already got a result, which is pretty great because you need a lot of different conditions for all these disciplines to get a result. And talking about the conditions, they had like really nice waves on the one day. For Sylt at least, I mean, the waves are really like sketchy to ride. I've been sailing there a couple times myself when we did the German tour there, and the waves really just crash out of nowhere and build up out of nowhere, so it's really hard to read. You cannot imagine it if you never sailed there before. And yeah, the guys did the most of it. Talking about the guys in the wave, Phillip Köster won the single elimination, so he got some redemption from Cape Verde, where he finished really low by winning both Gran Canaria and Sylt now. Unfortunately, with no discard, he cannot discard the bad result from Cape Verde. And actually Brasinho got the wave world title this year already, even if they do a double elimination, so congrats to him for getting the world title. He sailed really well in Sylt and like really consistent over all the different conditions they had this year with the 3 tour stops. And that's really what it is about, in my opinion, to be a good sailor in a variety of different conditions and not just dominate in one kind of conditions. And yeah, the freestyle, really guys, I don't know too much about freestyle, so I'm just gonna tell you, Adrien Boisson won the freestyle single elimination. So big congrats to him for winning, and that's also the world title, as they only have the one event this year. And now let's get into the juicy stuff, at least for me, the slalom, which is really interesting at the moment, because we had this one event last year where Nico Goyard dominated on foil, and it wasn't clear back then if the foiling would be really superior, and he showed that it is superior even in the strong winds. So how did he do in Sylt after 7 eliminations of slalom? Well, not so well. He's sitting, I think, in 10th place at the moment, and they had some really light winds, and that's what you see a lot, I think, in the foiling, that some guys, they have like a certain range of equipment, like a certain wing, which works really well for them, and that doesn't mean that across all the sizes of the different wings on the foil, their equipment works really well. And I think we saw that with Nico Goyard. Here in Sylt, it's a lot different conditions from Israel last year, where there was like small, steep chop, strong wind, gusty wind. Sylt is a lot different. You have like these big messy waves, and they had really light wind, I think around 6 to 11 knots in the first few eliminations. And who did we see come out on top there? Well, 3 guys, or maybe 4 guys, were really putting on a show, and that were Pierre Mortefond, Maciek Rutkowski, Matteo Iachino, and I think also Amado Vrieswijk. Yeah, those guys did really well in these conditions, and Pierre won the first elimination, I think. Then Maciek came back in the second one to win it, and at the moment the overall, after 7 eliminations, is Maciek is in first position. And yeah, this could be his first win on the PWA World Tour, so that's kind of big for him. But I think just like 1.3 points behind him is already Pierre Mortefond, who's also won a couple of times, and it's really tight between them, so 1 elimination more could change everything. And then Matteo Iachino did also really well, but he did some mistakes in the end. He actually had a really big crash in the last elimination, which cost him a lot because he has to discard a bad result now, and so now he's sitting in 4th position. Yeah, and Amado Vrieswijk, he just seems to have that extra speed at the moment in the slalom, so that's really interesting to see. We also saw some guys choose the fin over the foil and try it, because in these last few eliminations they had like 15 to 20 knots. But yeah guys, the fin just isn't competitive anymore, we have to face it. because in 15 to 20 knots, no one got through the quarterfinals really. Tati Franz tried it a couple of times. Cedric Bort, I think, tried it a couple of times, and you saw some guys trying it, and they always were quite okay by the first jibe, the second jibe, they were in second, third position, but by the end of the race, with all the jibes, they just couldn't finish inside the top 4 and advance to the next round. So the fin is really dead in these conditions. We have to see if we get an event in the future where there is like more consistent wind and stronger wind and maybe flatter water, if the fin will be superior there, but it looks like really bleak for the fin at the moment. And I think the PWA should really separate the disciplines again, do foil by themselves and do fin by itself, because otherwise, we have to face it, fin racing is really dead. And yeah, also what was really bad to see is that there was no official live stream by the PWA. A shout out to the surf magazine Sylt, because they actually did a live stream by themselves with just one guy with a camera. And then we saw Ben Profit commenting on his channel, windsurfing.tv, but he didn't have the picture, so it was really a mess and not so easy to follow the action. And that's really sad to see, because how much does it cost? Maybe 10, 20,000 euro to put on a live stream. And if they can't even find the budget for that and get the sport the promotion it needs, how can you get new sponsors or anything if you cannot show the sport to a wider audience? So yeah, that's really not the way to go, I think. But of course, I understand that the PWA probably just lacked the budget to do it and really wanted to. But yeah, sad to see. And one guy I wanted to talk about is Johan Zö from Denmark, because at just 19 years old, he just won, I think, the 6th elimination slalom. And it's been a long time since someone with 19 years of age won a single elimination in the PWA slalom. Usually the guys take like 10 years, and by 25, 28, they start winning eliminations. But to see someone so young already winning eliminations, I think he has a really bright future ahead of him. And yeah, I have to do a shout out to the 0.7 sails as well, which he used at this event. It seems like the 0.7 foil sails really work well, and I gotta get some myself and try them out and let you guys know how they feel. But yeah, probably this afternoon there's gonna be some more racing, so tune into the Surf Magazine Sylt live stream, because they're gonna do it again, and maybe Ben Profit commenting again. So I'm looking forward to see more action, hopefully more racing, because that's the most interesting thing to me. But I just thought I'd give you guys like some insights of what's happening at Sylt, because it's a bit hard to follow. If you like this kind of videos, leave a like, subscribe, all the stuff. And yeah, we'll probably do a recap of the event once it's over, and gonna follow the action this afternoon. I hope you do too. Cheers!